This is my theory on Poppy Playtime by Hedgehog. My theory is that this story will end soon. Specifically, Chapter 6 will probably be the end of the story. If we use the story structure that most story creators use, then we get a good estimate of when Poppy Playtime will end. This is my observation of how more stories go. In the beginning, this is where the main character's conflict and theme is introduced. Most information that you will get is surface level. You don't suddenly learn the lore of why the villain is doing this, or the main character's full mental state and everything. No, you just learn regular stuff. Meet the characters. You learn surface information. Yeah, we already said that. Writers will not introduce every single character. For example, we never heard of Catnap in Chapter 1. And in Chapter 2, unless we did. I don't know. But some conflict introduction will probably begin in the beginning. Some examples are the hot lady gets kidnapped. Yep, of course I have to do that stereotype. A bully beats up the protagonist, who is a nerd. Or you meet a dangerous creature that tries to kill you. Villain introduction. This may have already happened in the conflict, but if not, a villain is usually introduced early in the story as a conflict. It usually happens during the first scene and the middle scene. In rare cases, it may even be the end where you meet the villain. I personally have never seen that, but probably can happen. I don't know. Stories are wild. Anyways, you will likely meet a new character. You meet a new character along your journey that, in most cases, proves useful later on. And now in the middle. This is like the middle section. The middle is where the antagonist/villain is revealed. New characters may be introduced that can help defeat the villain if they were not introduced in this. Probably should have added a bullet point, but side villains get introduced at this point. A few examples of side villains are a right-hand man to the villain and an antagonist that has the same goal in mind. Side villains do not have to be accomplices/associated with the main villain. Like you could have people going after a treasure and there's just two different people that don't know each other. A face-off against the villain tends to happen here in a lot of stories, and the heroes usually fail. The plan. The heroes usually make a plan to stop the villains. This plan usually fails, and they have to make a new one. The plan can occur in many variations of ways. It doesn't specifically have to be a plan, but for an example, the heroes invade the villain's headquarters. Or, another example that I didn't include, in Home Alone. There was a literal plan, a literal map that Kevin McAllister draws. That is the plan. And this is the villain reveal. If the villain was not revealed at the start of the story, then this is where he is like shown. The villain is usually shown at this point. I just said that. Why did I read that? For an example, a ally betrays someone and reveals themselves as a villain, or the villain shows up to stop the heroes from winning. An example of this would be like, you're about to shut off the villain's generator, which will foil their plot. They'll come in, they'll boop, bop, bam. The face-off. The villain and the hero will normally have a face-off and fight. The villain usually comes out victorious. A character may die, disappear, or get damaged. And this is where the low point happens. After the villain wrecks you and wreaks havoc, heroes are harmed in some way. An example of low points that I written down. Megamind gets beaten by Titan and runs away. Vector captures the girls and Gru has to give up the moon. I can't exactly think of another one on the plot. This one took a long time to write because I couldn't think of any. Now we get to the end phase. The climax is usually in the end phase, and it's usually in the final showdown. The heroes and the villains have a final showdown, and the heroes will win most of the times. You probably will also get baited by the villain almost winning, even though you know the heroes win anyway. I wish it wasn't so obvious. I can see it from a mile away. It's like, oh no, I'm gonna win. Anyways, the recovery phase. Help arrives, would a villain and a hero will team up to stop the bigger bad. Like, for example, an villain secretly want to like kill the guy the whole time or whoever. A hero you thought was dead may come back and be like, guys, I got a plan or something. The heroes come up with a new plan to stop the villain once and for all. And here we get to the grand showdown. The heroes and the villains have a major battle. The heroes are usually on the verge of losing. A previously dead hero may come back to help you win. And this is where we get to the resolution. The conflict is usually ended and the moral is presented. I don't know why I said present. I think I messed it up. But here's how Poppy Playtime goes. And then I forgot to put that there. So this is how Poppy Playtimes go. We get to meet some characters like Huggy Wuggy. At the end of the game we meet Poppy. We meet a lot of random toys. And we get a conflict introduction. Huggy Wuggy tries to kill you. These toys are dangerous and life-threatening. And this is a conflict for chapter 1. Now we have the villain introduction. This may have already happened, but if it didn't, the prototype is mentioned in a couple tapes, and he also takes Mommy's body. So you get to see this mysterious character. He also kills Catnap by You get to meet a new character. You meet Mommy Longnames, you meet Catnap, you meet Kissy Missy, you meet the entirety of the Smiling Critters. And the plan to stop the villain. Poppy gets the idea to blow up the entire factory, and the villain foils that plan. We stop the plan, and why did I say we? The villain stops the plan and blows up Safe Haven. The side villains, the Doctor, he goes down honestly The Doctor goes down suspiciously easy. I mean, like, why do you have the card already in the death slot? Just take it out. Anyways, the villain reveal happens. The prototype reveals that Ollie is dead and he was just acting as Ollie. You don't learn that Ollie is the prototype until chapter 5. We're still on the events of chapter 4 here. Let's not skip ahead. New character introduction for some reason. We have Giblet, who didn't do We have Globy, the top tier character, and also a cutie. Just kidding. I'm not getting her. Chum Chompkins. He's a cutie. He's so peak. I mean, come on. You saw that. Oh, come on. Anyways, the face-off. The prototype and the hero fight on a train. This is the... never mind. In the end, the prototype stabs us, takes Poppy. He also killed Huggy Wuggy and Kissy Missy right before our very own eyes. And that's where you are in the low point. A lot of people have died or been seriously wounded, and the prototype won that fight. It's only Giblet, you, and Globy, and Giblet honestly sounds really defeated. It sounds like a sad, sad moment, which is how most low points go. And now you are in the recovery phase. This is where the Doctor comes back, and he may be an ally. This is where we are right now. I already said that, but this is where theorizing comes in, and where we can apply the average story plot to come up with a general idea for what may happen. The Doctor and you all join up to stop the prototype. You probably prepare for an attack. Maybe you find a couple things, but usually you'll find the prototype and get to the grand showdown. The heroes will fight off against the prototype, and the prototype probably will get like maybe severely damaged, but he will like probably like almost win. Maybe you kill someone, because we know Poppy Playtime loves to do that, and be in pain. I mean, and a lot of people will just be severely injured. But a character thought dead, for example, Huggy Wuggy and Kissy Missy may come back to do that, because that seems like something that probably could happen. And they help you out, and you all kill the prototype. And in the resolution, you free the orphans. Or maybe the orphans die. Maybe the orphans are already dead. It's just like, no! But, like, you'll usually, like, free the orphans, probably free Read Poppy. In conclusion, Poppy Playtime is most likely to end in Chapter 6. Alright, thank you for listening. And, yeah, that is my theory on Poppy Playtime. Thank you for listening to me for 10 minutes yapping off. 6, 7!